It definitely will be. Still going to be a tough lane. I think we've seen Viper versus Quap before, and the Viper can pull ahead, especially in the first 2 or 3 levels, when the Quap would probably want to go for the Scream and the Dagger. A bit tough against the Viper to close that gap, get the harassment off, and try to clear the waves. Whereas Viper just drops another Toxin, walks away, spams some poison attacks to get some wins, and
Ooh.
NoPing go back to the special. The HFN Luna comes out. This is a treat. He does deliver a lot of good performances on the hero. The only real team that goes into this Luna, and the only real player to still play it until now, ties with your Shadow Shaman really well. So excellent push coming out. If they do start to clear out some of these tier 1 into the tier 2 towers, the high ground is going to be really straightforward for NoPing to take if they are allowed to farm up on the Luna. So DogChamp has to be aware they need to contest these stacks. They need to track where the farm's coming from for HFN and contest it to prevent that snowball on the Luna.
Yeah, I think the main thing as well is with HFN on this Luna, he tends to just out-farm everybody. It's going to be very hard for Creep on the Slark to actually be able to keep up with the Luna's farm, and he may have to take a bit more of an active role this game. I wouldn't necessarily recommend taking it too late up against the Luna, as you could kind of argue which one scales better. It could go either way, but it might be better to just itemize to play a bit earlier with this Slark this game. But we'll see what DogChamp want to do with it. But now, last bans to come out. It looks like NoPing do not want to go up against that Lukey Darkseer. And props to Lukey. I mean, those vacuums he was committing in the middle, the team fights were very impactful. Even the one we saw a team fight in the Radiant Jungle, I didn't think it did that much, but they put Matthew on the high ground as the clockwork. And I suppose in some way it just effectively deleted the hero from the fight, as Matthew couldn't do anything from that high ground. So focus is going to be on Lukey's heroes now. But if that's the case, and they're going to ban offlane heroes, then it is going to be a support DP. And I know Bloody Nine does generally play core heroes in the support role a lot, but I never have faith in a position 5 Death Prophet.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, right? You need to hit your level 6 timings. You need to play around Exorcism. You fall flat as the game goes on without the Exorcism up because you're not going to have farm in the pause 5. So you really have to play around that early tempo a support DP does bring. We'll see if DogChamp can kind of adjust for that, or whether or not they are actually going to pick a different hero for Lukey. And they are taking their time with these last few ban outs. They do take out the Tiny, so they're expecting this Viper in a different role as well, perhaps expecting a Shadow Shaman 5, a Viper 4, or a Viper 5 Shadow Shaman 4, and instead bring something else mid, or maybe even expecting a Luna Sprite. I don't think that's a possibility. NoPing just tends to love that for HFN. We'll see how both sides close out. Some flex here at the end. NoPing will have to show their hand first, so we're going to have to figure out what exactly the game plan is with the Viper. Probably just looking for the pause 5 really to secure this for NoPing. Some possibilities there. Shadow Demon has not been picked up in a long time, but you've got the Luna. So if you want to play Illusion Spam, take control that way. It can be one way to get that done. They go with a Puck instead, so it's still open at the end. Whether or not they want the support Puck with a hard 5 Shadow Shaman or the support Viper in that case. And it does leave things pretty open here for DogChamp to read, so they're going to have to figure out how they want to run their DP now as well.
The way I'm seeing this is I think the Viper is going to be run as a support here. Maybe behind the Timber, put it in the off lane, maybe even run a tri lane. Looks like DogChamp are going to go into an Enigma pickup now, so let's see who's going into this off lane for DogChamp. And it is indeed Lukey. So Bloody Nine is going to be playing the 5 DP. Pos 3 Enigma, of course, Pos 4 Dark Willow for Yaren. And on the side of NoPing, Pandaboo is playing the position 4 Viper.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to close out the second game draft. Of course, Puck up against Quap is a lot more manageable for the Puck, but it's also sort of manageable for the Quap. So there's a back and forth there in mid now. You do have some good ways of clearing through the Eidolons here from NoPing's side. Luna alone should just be fine with that. Does manage to get some farm from those Eidolons as well as the levels go up. We don't see early investment in Glaives though. We'll see if that will change in this game for HFN. But the Enigma does allow DogChamp to constantly keep the Knives out, prevent that EXP gain from coming to the Luna, and that can be painful. You've got some really greedy supports on the side of NoPing. pause, pause 4 or 5 Shadow Shaman and Viper both need levels. So regardless of the lane partner for HFN, they're going to struggle here as there's just not going to be as much EXP without those range creeps. So it's a really nice closeout from DogChamp. They need to play around the timings of Bloody 9 though, allow the DP to hit level 6 and get the exorcisms off and get the push going with the Eidolons as well.
Get into it. Game number 2, DogChamp. If they could win this series, John, it would be their first 2-0 series in the whole of the BTS Pro Series Season 5. Of course, if they lose, they are guaranteed for a draw. Either way, I think they're going to be pretty happy with the way they've performed today, and they should be. See if they can get through the HFN Luna. Didn't really ask you either, but which draft did you prefer?
It's a hard one to call out. I think this is really even. It just depends on the timings. When it comes to execution, which I guess that's what it boils down to with the drafts, should be easier to pull off the draft of NoPing. They've got straightforward supports. Viper on 5 can still be highly effective, so they can always kind of just let him do his job. He's not as pressured to hit his own level 6. Maybe some pressure to hit some items for Pandaboo, but not as much as I think the timing has to be tied in for Bloody 9. So NoPing, as long as they prevent these exorcisms from paying off, and as long as they ride through the slower start of EXP gain that HFN is going to get, because obviously Enigma just keeps those denies up, I think you should be able to just scale better into the late game. You have some good presence there and good control. You've already got this nice Shadow Shaman to get the Hex off onto the Slark, so you've got a way of keeping him locked in for the most part. Although, again, if he gets his Dark Pact off, that can complicate matters a bit. But once you have, say, a Blink and the Aether Lens on Matthew, you should have enough to deal with it. You do have to worry about this BKB timing for Luki, though. If the Enigma does get the BKB in the mid-game, you don't have any options to cancel the Black Hole besides the Ags upgrade on Dark Mago. And Ags on Puck, we don't tend to see prioritized nowadays. So there is that back and forth as well coming out from DogChamp.
Absolutely. Tips already for Matthew. Yaren, obviously very confident after that last game. Wonder if we'll see any more all chat this game, or whether they're going to be a bit quiet. At least for now, they're pretty quiet during this first pause. Question mark from Oscar Nell.
Now it's
returning
Oscar
the favor.
asking it.
I mean, you may as well. They question marked you before. It's like Yaren just had to go to the bathroom, and we are set to go.
But will it follow the same thread?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one to watch. I think this is the right move out from NoPing. There looks like they might run a bit of a trial lane up top first, and we tend to see this with HFN's Luna. They drag the supports up top, they keep it contested to prevent that opposing safe laner to find farm. And when it's down to Slark versus Luna, I feel like we've seen this before. As long as the Luna draws even, at least, you're always going to be happy because you cleared the jungle a lot faster than something like the Slark. Still, DogChamp, they are smoked up. Might make a cheeky play here.
How are they going to get to that high ground, though? HFN is in position to break the smoke, and the smoke has already worn off. They did get the ward down that they wanted. And DogChamp, oh, they ran right into Matthew here. Matthew was trying to get some wards down himself, but now the pings come out from Yaren, and they do get the kill. And that's actually a very smart ward there from DogChamp as well, because this is going to scout out if they are going to run an aggressive tri lane. And that way you always keep tabs on what they're up to during the laning phase, and for DogChamp, it should give them an advantage.
Yeah, they can readjust lanes as needed. They should get an idea that the Luna's going to be staying up top, and they're already ready for that. Luki is already staying up top as well to keep the denies flowing. So they're avoiding that early strat that we tend to see from NoPing. When they've got this Luna, they love to run an aggro try. Not going to get the same value without range creeps coming through, because you will have to deal with the Enigma denies, and, well, that just means that the tri lane will be starved out, and they are committing. Matthew just goes back up top. Pandaboo is still sticking around. They are all under the ward, so this move does pay off for DogChamp in a very big way.
Yeah, I think this makes enough sense from NoPing as well, right? Because the Viper doesn't necessarily want to be with the Timber right now. In fact, Matthew's the one who's going to just TP straight down. So they're going to keep the Viper with the Luna in the off lane, but this could turn out to be a little bit messy. Not sure if this Viper pickup is really going to work out if they can't fully capitalize on it. But then again, Lukey on the Enigma might not really be able to get too much done either, considering the Viper is in the lane, and if he gets out of position once, he probably is just going to die. So maybe Lukey just focuses on making sure he gets those deniers on all the creeps, and just try to make it as hard on HFN as humanly possible.
Yeah, this is going to be the toughest lane for HFN that we've seen so far from his Luna. Let's see how well he holds up. Can't expect too much from Pandaboo this game, so he is just going to focus in on those last hits as best as possible. You might want to maybe wait for level 2, level 3 on Pandaboo before that kicks in. Gives us a chance to take a look at the other lanes. Down mid, Dark Mago is on that puck up against Rayla Lisa's Quap. You are seeing a slight edge for Dark Mago, just having that spam ability and safety with Illusory Orb over Rayla Lisa's Scream. Scream is a bit shorter range. Have to close the gap and maybe couple of right clicks from Dark Mago. Of course, with phase shift around, you can dodge some of that harassment out from the Quap as well. So there is some outplay potential here.
Top lane, Yaren trying to fight this one out. Both are going to go down very soon, but they do manage to get the kill on Pandaboo, and HFN cannot finish off Yaren. Yaren's going to be fine to walk out of there, and now Lukey can really apply some pressure onto HFN.
I mean, this is a very hard lane for him to recover, and again, you don't tend to go for early moon waves, so you can't even clear out these Eidolons in the early phase of the game. And the Viper now, it's going to be a level behind. It does get a reset, but we're not seeing the impact that Pandaboo wants to have here, and you do see Yaren just going for that tier 2 deny, more than likely just going to go maybe look for a previous snipe Swallow down bot.
Oh, it's a lot of damage out from Oscar, but nobody ties. Matthew is actually the one to go down. Oscar should still be able to secure a kill onto Bloody 9, but it seems as though he is not confident that he's going to land the Whirling Death, so we'll go for the chain. Now has no mana for the Whirling Death. He should have some soon with the stick charges, but he will not finish off the kill. And DogChamp, they get away with murder again.
Yeah, they've got such a fantastic start. 1-3 now. This POS 5 DP is actually paying off. The sustain Bloody 9 has when he comes into trade is just a bit too much to deal with. Sure, Matthew has better right clicks, but he has no way of keeping himself healthy. They can go for the shackle plays, but you don't want to risk that Timbersaw going too far forward. Creep will just hit you and build some more stacks of essence up. So you have to watch that. So far, DogChamp slightly ahead. They are finding some stable farm on Creep. You have to give it to NoPing as they are finding some really good last hits up top and on mid for now, although.
Alright, Shackle's out. They should have Bloody 9. He'll survive for a little bit longer, but ultimately will die to the Ether Shock of Matthew, who will continue the chase along with Oscar. Creep gonna back out for a bit. Meanwhile, Lukey top lane was dropping quite low himself. Does get the Malefice, but shows up in vision. And Pandaboo is going to be able to finish off the Enigma. It'll cost him his own life, but it's well worth it for the core Enigma play. And that Malefice, I think, just gave enough vision for Pandaboo to turn back around for that last attack.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate for Lukey. He just wanted to get the best trade as possible. I think he figured he would probably still die in that lane, didn't want to fare out more regen, so you might as well get the reset off. Do see a scuffle over those first power runes, but Rayla Lisa does get to pick it up, although Matthew's still alive, but
yeah, I don't know about this, Matthew.
Long.
He's going to go for the TP play and is not going to make it. Rayla Lisa does have the damage, and now Dark Mago going to go down. Oh, bit of miscoordination there, Matthew. He wanted to go on Rayla Lisa, and it looks like Dark Mago did not want to do so. And by the time he came back, it was just too late.
There is little hope for
yeah, it's a massive mistake. Rayla Lisa now going to be very happy. 2 kills under his belt, already having a fantastic time. Mid starting to take control away from the puck. And DogChamp now, with those kinds of kills, are taking control of these lanes very early on. They're building not quite a sizable lead yet, but the momentum's on their end, 3-6. And we have still yet to see how much more Pandaboo can get done in the Viper. They do rotate Matthew back up top. Maybe now they can get that kill on Yaren.
They'll get Yaren here, surely. Shadow Realm, oh no, he's going to TP out.
And they lose HFN while they go scuffling around for a Dark Willow. They just get the rotation out on Rayla Lisa, and it's just perfect here from DogChamp.
It just gets worse and worse. HFN does not want to lose his life like that, and yeah, he can catch up quick with the glaives, but you don't want to be put in the position where you're going to have to be trying to catch up the whole game. Meanwhile, mid lane, Dark Mago getting aggressive again, forced to just orb the other way now. Bloody Nine looks like he wants to try and chase him down, but won't be able to keep up with the puck. Still, every single lane does seem to be going in the favor of DogChamp. I suppose the mid lane is a little bit even, but it still feels like Raylalisa is getting the better end of these trades. Just with that double kill he got, he's already level 7.
Yeah, it's just hard to take control here. You don't have the same presence with your supports. Matthew's been trying down mid, but what do you expect with a Viper rotation? Not much. And that is really making the difference here. DogChamp supports are having much more impact around. They haven't been able to punch the Dark Willow. They do lose a Courier though, so that's a nice pickup for Pandaboo. Does have at least some of that gold going their way, but they need to relieve some pressure in these lanes. Oscar down bot as well, not slowing down Creep as much. So what we usually talk about with the Luna, just catching up. When the Slark's ahead like this, that becomes a less attractive prospect, as you know, Creep's already having a good time, although.
And Nine, he's been hexed up into the shackle. Creep gonna try and get some damage off onto Matthew. Bloody Nine still alive, pops the stick charges, and he's gonna try and run with the Spirit Siphon, but Dark Mago now here with the silence out, has to commit the coil for this, and he will not do so. He'll go back onto the Slark, but he has his own stick, gonna try and turn back around with all these Essence Shift stacks, but it's not gonna be enough. Yaren is still here. Raylalisa does TP down. They want something for their trouble. They're going to kill off Oscar. Meanwhile, Pandaboo dies to Lukey. So, a 2-for-1 across the map. They still got the Slark. Dark Mago going to go for the TP, but they have nothing to cancel. And while that was happening down at the bot lane, Lukey, he still gets a solo pick off. It did cost them the black hole, but I think it's well worth it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you trade a black hole at this point. You're not looking for the big kills. You just want the pick off. And that's exactly what Lukey gets. He understands his timing. He does have a Necronomicon on now as well. So he can go for aggressive push out. And NoPing need to find a way to relieve the pressure on HFN. He's staying in the jungle, has a level in the glaives, so he can start clearing out these camps a little bit faster, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be fast enough. He doesn't even have the Morbid Mask. So the timing for, say, Mask of Madness is going to be pretty long here. And this is not characteristic of what we see from HFN's Luna, but DogChamp has been very on point to punish that pick.
Bot lane, Creep and Bloody Nine going to get started on that tier 1 tower. Matthew would love to cancel this TP, but is not going to spot him out in time. Top lane, they're trying to go into Bloody Nine, who was there to defend that tier 1. Does have the siphons going, but it's not going to be enough. Oscar is able to finish the kill. Should be able to get back towards that tier 1 and get some more damage out.
Yeah, it's slow going. I mean, you have the Luna, but the wave is just constantly de-pushed because of the presence of those Eidolons. It's going to be a little bit slower than you'd want to. And the bot tier 1's already underway, although.
Pandaboo is going to die. The Nether Toxin gets Creep very low, but not quite enough. It's going to be some more kills going to the way of DogChamp. Creep going to be happy with his first point in permanent agility. Of course, Lukey down with the Necro Creeps and the Eidolons, trying to get some pushes out, but Oscar is there to defend. He's going to be on defense duty for a while, I think.
Yeah, he's got to maintain that presence here to stop that push from coming in. DogChamp doesn't look like they mind too much. They just rotate Creep back up top. So it is the Luna up against the Slark, and HFN is just pocketing that level on the Eclipse, just trying to see if he can get away for a greedier build focused on farm. He just wants to keep building up. Creep is slightly ahead in terms of EXP now as well, but HFN's not lagging too far behind in farm, just about 200. So the Luna's not doing too bad. You need to get that flash farm up though, and DogChamp are smoked up.
Oh, HFN, that's a massive target. Oh boy, this is really not panning out right now for NoPing. HFN, that's his second death of the game, and you see it in his net worth. It is really reflecting quite nicely here for DogChamp, as They break their own smoke on Lukey, but he doesn't mind. He'll turn back around now, trying to get the Malefice onto Pandaboo. He does land it, and he has Black Hole in about 5 seconds. Pandaboo try and turn around and fight, but it looks like he is destined to die here. Dark Mago now coming in to try and get a trade, maybe in trouble as well. Gets a Dream Coil off. Maybe Raylalisa goes down here. The Chakram out with the Hex will be enough. They even found Yaren. The Dream Coil ends up panning out for NoPing.
Yeah, it's some important pickoffs for them to find. Lukey just not being able to find the Black Hole angle, unfortunate enough. They are getting some shove-in up top. Bloody Nine pops his Exorcism. They did get a lot of damage up, but Oscar is here to defend, so not going to be a successful push. It is enough to force the Timbersaw to go away, though, and that does give some space out on the map. Creep is just steadily farming up in the meantime, saving up for that Echo Saber. Very close, but they are allowing HFN now to just get that catch-up farm in the jungle. So they're securing that farm. There are some good wards watching the entrance of that jungle. DogChamp might be able to figure out where HFN is if he oversteps a bit.
7-12, 11.5 minutes in, 2k net worth lead. Everything just going swimmingly here for DogChamp. HFN with the Mask of Madness just committing himself to the jungle. A lot of catching up to do for him. Top lane, Bloody Nine, just going to make sure this tier 1 top tower stays defended. Because every time the Exorcism is off cooldown, he tends to try and just pop it and get a tower push. But looks like he has been caught again in a similar position to last time. He has a TP coming in and he's still alive, but the Chakram damage is going to be way too much. Onto Matthew they go, but it is only the Dark Willow, and Yaren may have overextended. He'll also die. His Dark Mago is more than willing to commit the Dream Coil. And you've got to be careful not to give too many of those kills away, as it will allow NoPing to catch back up.
Yeah, they are keeping that network lead tied down because of these kills. Currently 9-12, 1k up for DogChamp, not much. The main gap is between HFN and Creep. You are seeing the Slark like 700 gold above HFN, so it's still a long way for the Luna, and they can exploit this. They're just trying to invade that jungle. Lukey is still sitting on that Black Hole. They do find a top tier 1 after that set of kills, so NoPing does even out map control, though.
Midnight Pulse to get rid of the tree line there, and Pandaboo has nowhere to hide. It's going to go down into the tier 1 tower. Exorcism once again off cooldown. Eidolon's there with the Necro Creeps. Raylalisa going to make sure Oscar does not have his way. That is a very valuable tower for DogChamp to be able to take down this early on. So far, so good with this draft, John. They are making it look good.
Yeah, they're getting all the objectives they want. They're hitting their item beats. They're hitting their power spikes and levels. They have distributed that EXP quite nicely with Bloody Nine. So, in fairness, this Pause 5 DP is actually paying off in a big way, especially when you compare that to the Pause 5 Viper. Pandaboo still not at 6, means that he can't even toss out Viper Strike in the middle of these fights, and he's not being prioritized for the book. They know that the Viper is just sort of a dead end now. They are just going to try to shove mid-tier 1 while they can, but even with a Luna, it's still a bit of a slower push.
Lukey, the mid lane, Malefice onto HFN with the Midnight Pulse, but Oscar has made the jump in. Raylalisa, Sonic Wave only going to land on the park, and everyone else is getting themselves out, apart from Matthew, who does die, and now Dark Mago, who's been terrorized up and is going to be chased down with the pounce out from Creep on the Slark. They'll go for more now. Raylalisa straight after the Timber. Can they cancel this TP? Not quite. Meanwhile, mid, however, Yaren has also got Pandaboo. This Viper, while he is hitting back, might actually get a trade, and does, but he'll be another to go down.
That's a good amount of gold for Pandaboo at the least. He doesn't get the EXP, which is a bit more important for that Viper. So Pandaboo is still stuck at 5.5. It's not the best of times for our hard support Viper, but that is the life of the Viper, I suppose, on the support position. DogChamp now still maintaining a slight 1k net worth lead. They are still building up on their Slark. They've got the Echo Saber up on Creep. They've got the Orchid up on Raylalisa, and this is when the pickoffs really start to line up. However, HFN now has been given a lot of space in that jungle. The gap between HFN and Creep has been consistent at 800, 900 gold though. So even with the space out, it's still not enough to close the gap and give HFN an item advantage.
A very slow process here for this Luna. Creep, on the other hand, going to have an SNY up pretty soon. Already has the Sanj on the way. Back into the mid lane they go. There's going to be a Shackles, but Shadow Realm is down. Luki was threatening to go for the black hole. Matthew just about to drop and should go down, but he's still alive and gets the wards off in time. It'll be a 1-for-1 so far as they get the pounce out onto the Timber, but yeah, there's your black hole. Luki, he does get 2 in there. Panda Buddha drop as well, and they will go for more now. Onto HFN. Can they lock him down though? Doesn't look like it. HFN will be able to run.
Each brave courier knows the risk.
Still a great team fight out from DogChamp.
Yeah, they managed to make it work. Really good black hole and patience out from Luki. And they find some big kills. It's not the biggest kills you'd want, but you still found 2 heroes for your trouble, so not all bad. They are getting some good amount of permanent agi up on Creep as well. So he's up at 4 now, and is saving up for the SNY. Very close to the Yasha. Gonna be a major spike for the Slark once it's up.
Matthew and Dark Mago trying to break the gap there. Try and get a coil onto Creep, but he's going to pounce out. Mid lane. Calling out the Enigma, Luki. Gonna be coiled and is set to die, but Rayla Lisa with a Sonic Wave out and the silence is going to be able to kill off Dark Mago. They'll kill off Luki, but does it matter? It's going to be at a heavy cost. They'll get Yaren as well. Matthews still being chased, does also die, and now it's on to HFN. He's been rooted in place. He's going to try and man fight, but he cannot. The Shadow Dance is there in time, and that means Creep may just survive. As Rayla Lisa will blink out and Creep will just pounce out. Oscar going to continue this chase. He really wants the kill, but he accepts the fact that he can't actually get it. And now Rayla Lisa going to go back in with the Orchid onto Panda Boo. That'll be another. Oscar needs to be a little bit cautious, but they'll leave it at that. A 4-for-2 trade going to the way of DogChamp.
Yeah, and they are just finding the wins in this situation. DogChamp might have overstayed their welcome, but ends up in a really good spot anyway. They can play around this next black hole coming out, and the exorcism from Bloody 9 is going to be up in about 11. And looking at Luki, he's already got his blink up, so he can get even better positions in the team fights for the black holes. He is saving up for his BKB next, and once he has that, no worries at all for the black hole until the Ags comes out from Dark Mago. But again, that's not a priority pickup for the puck nowadays. And looking at Dark Mago, it's not even queued up. He's going for the Yule's blink himself. So there's a lot of room here for Luki once the BKB is there to get in a good spot to lock in these bigger heroes.
Yeah, I think Dark Mago just feels the need to be more survivable than anything. Maybe just relying on HFN later to be able to get all the damage out. But I do agree that that BKB black hole is going to be a huge problem. And it's not going to take Luki very long to farm it either. So we'll see what NoPing want to do. Right now, it seems like they're just trying to catch up in a bit of net worth, so they can actually fight back on an even playing field.
Radiant's courier has been
Their tier 1 top tower is now going to be sieged down by Bloody 9. They're going to get it as well. Glyph will be forced, that'll delay things, and maybe a deny will come out. No, the Eidolons are still there. Bloody 9 will be able to get the tier 1. Really no contest at all. I don't blame NoPing for not wanting to defend it. I just don't think they can fight back with this kind of net worth disadvantage.
No, I mean, it's not sizable by any means. 3k at 20 minutes is a pretty good spot for DogChamp, but not unplayable for NoPing. They just want to take it safe and try to get those resources back, as you mentioned. Take a look at HFN. Yasha is up. It's straight into the BKB next. So that is going to block out a lot of the damage from the Quap. A lot of the damage out from the Enigma as well. It at least block out the control and the damage out from the Dark Willow. Of course, that will allow HFN to position himself in the middle, get the Eclipse off, and try to right-click down. We'll see if he can live through most of that damage. You are seeing Creep going for that same build, getting that BKB up now that he has the SNY. So timings being met from both sides are fairly similar, and that should line up for a pretty explosive fight in the next few minutes. I'd say DogChamp probably want to take this fight a lot more. They are still sitting on Exorcism, although they could wait for Bloody 9 to hit his level 12 to get that level 2 Exorcism with more spirits out. That might be what they wait for next before making a move.
Still a lot of problems here for NoPing. Now that BKB that's going to come out on Creep is going to be massive as well. It's going to remove a lot of the big damage from HFN. So you are going to be relying a little bit on that Eclipse, but through the BKB, he's not even going to have to pop Shadow Dance. He's just going to hit you. NoPing, they are also in a position to go for Roshan. It is a little bit early with this draft to try for it, so they're just going to take over this Radiant Triangle and force the side of the side of NoPing to go into the opposing triangle, but Creep's there as well. So instead they smoke up, try and re-invade with a new BKB on HFN. Oscar does break the smoke of Lukey. Things do come out and he's going to keep going. Maleficus will be out, but looks like they are just set on retreating. Yules is there, Dark Mago to set up. Lukey, Terrorize is going to be very nice. It'll buy a bit of time. Lukey's still alive. He might just turn around for a black hole, and he does. Whoa. He's got Oscar in there. And with the Sonic Wave, it's not going to be quite enough damage. Still, they will kill off the Viper. And now Oscar on the run, but is chased down by Raider Lisa. And it's going to be a 3-for-1 again.
Oh, it's just not the fights you want here if you're just on the side of NoPing. It's buying space out for HFN. He does have the BKB, but I don't know about going in with this.
Bloody 9, this is a bit risky. HFN with the BKB trying to get something to happen. Bloody 9 is going to die to Dark Mago. Now Yaren wants to get a trade. They will go after the puck. They have no choice but to let HFN TP out. And in no way could you consider that worth it for NoPing. That is a position 5 DP dying for a position 2 puck.
Yeah, it's not worthwhile. You also had to pop your 10-second BKB there on HFN, not finding the most valuable kill. They hold on to Eclipse on the side of NoPing though, so they're gonna have that in the next fight. But if you're DogChamp, I don't think you really care. I mean, you've already got the BKBs being farmed up. You've got the BKB and Rayla Lisa just blocking a lot of damage here from the Timbersaw, and you can't just look to go for more.
And Dabu again caught out on this Viper, having a very difficult game thus far. Onto another, they got the Cursed Crown on Matthew now. Great setup here from Yaren, and Creep is happily going to pounce and take the kill. Onto the mid-tier 2 they go. Oh no, the draft, it's not really that great at pushing, but it looks like they're going to give it a crack as HFN now being Maleficed up. They won't commit. Just more damage onto the tier 2 tower, and they're going to back after the glyph.
Yeah, I mean, you force a nice glyph out. That does give them some time to get some movement on the map. They could easily go to the Roshan if they wanted to. They do not have their big teamfight spells, and that could put them in a very awkward spot if they do get caught out. But NoPing.
Oil. They just want something. They'll go after Yaren and Lukey. Why did he blink like that? Lukey, maybe baiting here. Maleficus out. HFN just going to pop the Eclipse. Lukey's going to die. Bloody 9 now also being caught out. Creep's trying to come in and help, but he's been mulesed up, and now he's kind of just alone. Yaren, he's brought back though with the Terrorize. They're going to try and turn this one around, but in the back lines, Raider Lisa has been controlled. Still, Creep will be able to kill off HFN. So they get something out of this. Still not the greatest trade here for DogChamp. NoPing certainly okay, but now Pandabu's going to die, and that might make it a bit more even. This Creep waiting for the Glimmer, should be able to finish this, and does, and that'll be enough. But Yaren, he's been caught. NoPing, they will be able to get him. Oscar with the Chakram and Chains. Gets it done, and that's a die back on the Willow.
That's a big set of wins for NoPing. A bit of a back and forth. Unfortunate that they lose the two most important cores inside of NoPing though, so not quite as clean as they'd want. DogChamp just overextending a bit. However, they took that fight without Black Hole and without Exorcism. It is back up. So DogChamp, despite those losses, could still look to turn around. They have built up a good amount of permanent Agi stacks now on Creep. That did give him 11 stacks up. So he's got a lot of damage to play with. He's got a lot of armor to tank the front line as well. And that could complicate things for NoPing.
Could.
Radiant's courier makes the
Courier going down for HFN now to the Eidolons, of all things. Very frustrating stuff for the Luna.
Yeah, it's gonna stall out the full Manta as the recipe is pretty close, but Courier's not gonna spawn in time. So he might have to go home to pick that up. Maybe have someone ferry it out for him. Still, NoPing are still finding some growth on the map. Once you have the Manta Luna, you can actually take fights a lot better on right clicks as well. You just have to worry about the BKB time for Luki. He's just about 200 gold off. That is going to be way ahead of any sort of Ags buildup for Dark Mago. So Luki's just going to be able to get in, Black Hole up. They've also been struggling a bit against Glimmer Capes for the most part. Not enough detection on both sides to punish either one. But Creep is getting big as well. He's #1 in net worth, way ahead of the Luna now. And this is not where you want to be if you do play a Luna. You need to be an item up to be really effective. And the Luna just doesn't have that space this game.
No, it doesn't. And there's still time. It's not like they've been raxed or anything. Definitely desperate times though for HFN. There's your BKB up on Luki now, and this could be perfect timing if they realize the Roshan's happening. They should realize it now. They are slowly making their way over, but they don't have much time left. Raylalise is going to jump in. Roche on the deck. Yeah, it's gone. Aegis still on the floor, though. Nobody's picked it up. Creep's going to go get it. Somebody pick up the Aegis. There you go. They've got it now. It was actually encircled by the wards, John. The wards covered it.
That cost them. The ward drop to prevent anything from happening prevented HFN from also snatching away. So now they drop 2 heroes. They've got an Aegis on the Slark. No Black Hole, no Exorcism, but what does that matter when Creep is just this big? They can just go ahead and reach into the high ground. They've got Eidolon spam for all day. They've got the Necronomicon still up. They do play it safe though. But this is such a big loss for NoPing. A massive spike away from them in this case.
That's... It feels like the nail in the coffin here. Like, the game's already hard enough as it is, and your own wards make it so you can't pick up the Aegis. And then Creep just comes in and takes it off you. Now Creep's got a free Aegis on his hands. Still top of the net worth board as well, and now they've initiated. Luki has popped the BKB through the Eclipse and is going to be alright. Raylalise going to be able to TP up, but Creep has been stunned up by the coil and Silence, but he has his own BKB. Still holds on to the Shadow Dancers. They are going to lose Yaren. So a nice little gank there from NoPing. That'll pretty much be it, DogChamp. Back to the drawing board for them.
It doesn't feel that worthwhile. I mean, Luki didn't have Black Hole anyway, so this death is not much for him. They had to pop Eclipse to get that done, and that's a very long cooldown. So now Eclipse won't line up with the Black Hole cooldown, which means if DogChamp wants to fight when their Black Hole is immediately up, HFN won't have a response.
Creep, Pounce, moving in. Pandabu. I don't know about turning around right now. Maybe they just want to clear out the Aegis off Creep. Coil's back up in roughly 10 seconds here for the puck. Looks like HFN. He just TP's out. He knows it's not a smart fight right now up against DogChamp. Oscar will try to do the same, and he'll be fine.
Way too risky. There is a smoke out from DogChamp though. They're going to look to wrap behind. They don't have any wards in this Radiant jungle, so they are going a bit blind here on the side of DogChamp.
They can take the outpost, which does reveal the smoke. DogChamp are just going to keep rushing towards that mid lane where Matthew is going to get the Hex off onto the Willow. Yaren, he's going to be the first to go down. BKB, Raylalise, no! He went for the Shaman. He wanted to push him back. but the Glimmer Cape made it so he couldn't see where he was. They would at least still kill off Pandaboo. So it is a 1-for-1 in the end, but it should have really been a 2-for-1. Bit of a misplay there. No detection either from DogChamp, does kind of hurt.
Yeah, both sides just kind of getting a lot of value from those Glimmer Capes. Now, DogChamp, they did pop Exorcism though. So Bloody Nine's not going to have that lineup with the Black Hole, which means you're only going to have access to one of these spells in the next fight. Still a pretty good, it's still pretty okay for DogChamp. They're only 3k ahead, so you still can't count out NoPing. Like, they're riding through this Aegis actually quite nicely. There's only a minute 20 seconds left until the Aegis does expire.
Oh, regular Lisa making sure they can't take the outpost back in time for the XP bonus. That being said, it's not worth your life if you're this Quap. He didn't have BKB off cooldown, and it's going to cost him. I definitely would argue that was not worth for the Quap that time around. I mean, denying the XP is nice and all, but not that nice.
No, you give a lot towards Dark Mago. He's very close now to rushing this Ags. And this is important to stop those black holes coming through with a BKB. You do have the Hex up on Rayla Lisa though. So that Quap still does have a lot of good control jumping in. But it's going to be a bit awkward now for Luki to get the black hole off. He has to be aware that Dark Mago is saving up for the Ags as he hasn't bought anything since the Yules.
I have Skadi almost up on HFN. They're going to smoke up before he does have it finished. Oh, they spotted out Luki on the Enigma. A nice little jump here with the Hex out again from Matthew to initiate, and they get another. Yaren, Yules, Brambles there onto Dark Mago, but the counter Yules out onto the Willow, and they get another kill. NoPing, slowly but surely, are starting to drag this game back their way.
Yeah, and they managed to wait through the Aegis, so it's gone. No Aegis up on Creep means he's going to have to be a little bit more cautious. He does have his Basher up, waiting for that Abyssal. But HFN, you mentioned the Scotty, it's almost there. And once that's up, the regen on Creep does shoot down, although...
Yeah, HFN, he's been bashed up. Pounces there, BKB popped by Creep. Looks like he might just settle for the kill onto Pandaboo, but again, they don't have detection. Meanwhile, Bloody Nine is trying to start another team fight on the side, and it's going to be onto the Shaman. The Exorcism will chase him down, and they do get the kill. With this Exorcism, Bloody Nine does not want to stop. Goes onto the Viper, but he has gone too far. He is all alone. The rest of his team are nowhere nearby, but nobody has detection. The Glimmer Capes apparently are the most valuable item in this game right now.
That is just ridiculous. At some point, you need some dust up, boys. The Glimmer Capes from NoPing are causing issues. The Glimmer Capes from DogChamp are causing issues. At the least, DogChamp does have a couple of sentries in lane, so they can at least spot out the opposing ones a bit better, but awkward situation there. You are still alright in NoPing's end. You did manage to force some movement out. You did have to sacrifice your Shadow Shaman for it, but all things considered, that net worth gap from DogChamp has shrunk. Only 1k up, 1 to 2k up, not much of a difference now. The Luna still lagging behind the Slark, but only by 100 gold. So HFN has bounced back in and is saving for the Butterfly because they went for Abyssal on Creep. He's not going to be able to deal with that evasion. He does have the full Abyssal though, so he can just look to try and lock in HFN while that Butterfly isn't up yet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Teams just kind of avoiding each other right now. NoPing going to move up towards the top lane. Both teams going to try and go for the opposing tier 2 towers in the side lanes. And Glyph is forced from the Radiant side of things. Matthew. TP's in, undetected. They do not know he's here. So he's set up to kind of creep up from the backside. When they do come for this high ground defense, this could be very clever from Matthew. He's also in position to catch somebody out right now. And he's going to try. Matthew with the spider legs moves up onto the high ground and finds regular Lisa. Drops the wards with the Hex, but the black hole is out as well. They caught 3 of them with the Terrorize.
Oh, no.
It's going to be a disaster coming up, and NoPing as Oscar is set to die as well. Lukey. A great black hole out. Pandabu trying to run. Yaren will chase him down and eventually will connect with the Yules. Pandabu will be having his 15th death of the game. The only person to survive was Matthew, and well, I just cursed him apparently because he's trying to get away, but it looks like he is set to fall. He goes down. They're going to have to commit those buybacks. I think HFN is included.
He doesn't do enough.
Bisselin, he hasn't brought back yet, and Pandabu is gone. Die back on the Viper. DogChamp looking for that 2-0. That'll be the first. Racks going down. They can still go for a second. They've got time.
Oh boy. It's a scary spot for NoPing. They do have Eclipse when they do respawn in, so they can try to force that fight out. No Exorcism, no Black Hole. Means that the team fight here for DogChamp isn't as great, and they are playing a man down.
They are. HFN about to respawn in 5, but this tier 3 tower is doomed, and now Matthew. Nice Hex to stop the pounce, but Creep is not done with the Abyssals going straight in on the Shaman. He'll force staff away. Coil does nothing, but Creep may have gone a bit too far. He has the Shadow Dance to play with, so he's going to use that and just try to run away. Yaren, terrorized, not going to commit. HFN, he has the Eclipse, but it's really hard to land a decent Eclipse this game. Maybe without the BKB or Shadow Dance on Creep, he could try. They'll use him up, but he'll Dark Pact it off and he'll get out again. They will at least save the mid-racks for now, but the tier 3 is gone and the melee barracks is very low. Dark Mago moving in. Will blink out, but Creep, he's not done. He wants that racks gone. They might even find Oscar. Yules is up. Brambles is there along with the Bedlam. It's a lot of damage from Yaren and Bloody Nine, and even the supports are doing it. They get rid of the Timber. They may lose Yaren for this, or maybe not. Creep, he'll jump in with the Abyssal. Sonic Wave is there onto Pandabu, and this puck is down. Panda, he is also gone, and it's only HFN now, and they call it. GG is there. A 2-0 victory for the side of DogChamp.
But they play fantastically throughout both games. A lot more domineering here from DogChamp in this second game. Lukey's Enigma, the last pick to close it out, just made it so hard for NoPing to find anything. Like, HFN couldn't farm the lane up, they weren't getting EXP, the Pause 5 Viper from Pandabu as well. You saw how long it took to get that level 6, just denied of any sort of progression, and it was hard for NoPing to maximize the lineup. So props to DogChamp for stepping up, making that Bloody 9 Pause 5 DP work as well, and securing themselves their first series win.
Well, you know what that means, John. We are moving on to our final series of the night, and it is going to be between the Demons and Arkosh Gaming, and of course
yes,
the guys over on 5-Man Midas. I've heard reports that 5-Man Midas might be using a different player to boons today, by the way. Not 100% sure who it's going to be, but let's wait and find out. Hopefully we can update as soon as we get into the draft, and with that, it is MLP Dota and johnxfire. We'll be back in roughly 10 to 15 minutes for the final series of the day. We'll see you soon.